Hey, welcome to a special edition. I know I'm not Todd. Okay, so I'm actually just trying to share this. Trying to share this while I'm talking to y'all. How's it going? Welcome to a special edition. Breaking news, whatever you want to call it. This is a special chat that we're going to have today because I feel like people need to know what's going on. So I have a really brave guest that's coming on the show tonight, and we're going to have a little discussion. She's going to let me know what comfortable or what questions she feels comfortable answering and not answering, and we'll take it from there. But before we go there, just a few things that I really want to talk about. First of all, I want to thank Resistance Coffee for everything they do. Gosh darn, they are an amazing coffee company here in Canada. Head over to resistancecoffee.com and type in Filthy Truth and save yourself 10% on any products. You guys can go ahead and get yourselves a Defund the TBC t-shirts. Y'all can get whatever you need, anything that you need for whatever you want. So it'll be really good. Get my favorite, if you guys want like my favorite, is go get the Defund the CBC coffee. That one is my all-time favorite. Seriously, it tastes so bloody good. All right, so before I get my guest on here, I'm going to just chit chat about a few things that were brought up today, and I just kind of wanted to share some of these news with you guys. First off, the biggest thing that we want to talk about is that we just found out that the PPC party will not be invited to do their political debate with the big boys. They will not let Max Bernier play. So we need to know, because they know that the only party that's going to be opposing any of this freedom and opening us up again and allowing the passports to go away, they're the only party that will do that. So they're not allowing them to play. So just for you guys to know, for when it comes to any type of when it comes to the PPC party, they won't let them play. They won't let them debate. They won't let them participate in anything. I also got a text message from Sean. He is one of our local ridings here. And he was told that he had to take down signage from Highway 59 because it was visual blocking. Seriously, this thing is about 3 feet off the ground, and they said off of a main highway that it was blocking people's view. So you just have to know that the PC, the Liberals, and the NDP, they are very scared that the PPC can actually take this, and they are very scared that if they allow them to gain any traction, that they would actually take the votes, and they would actually end up winning and getting into our prime minister, switching up the parties and actually opening up our country. As y'all know, Doug Ford just sold out Ontario. He said it was Trudeau's fault, that he had to bring in the vaccine passports. So y'all know that Mr. Doug Ford was he was bought out there. So his province got $1 billion from Trudeau. So Ontario, welcome to Manitoba's fight. And BC as well. So just to let you guys know a little bit, if you guys haven't been following the news, because a lot of this stuff isn't being told to you, there's just a lot of information that you guys have to kind of find, and you kind of have to dig, and you have to make sure that y'all are doing your due diligence to make sure. Because if you guys look at the political parties tonight and they're having a debate, why isn't the PPC there? They'll come up with some bullshit and excuse and say, oh, Max Bernier was not allowed to come. It's not okay. This isn't how democracy is supposed to be. This isn't how our political parties are supposed to be. When you guys are going to vote for somebody, or if there is a massive election, we need to be able to hear all sides of the story. And right now they are muting the shit out of the PPC party. So you guys need to know that there is something behind that, because this isn't where we need to go. So I like what Jamie wrote. Can you just put Jamie's comment right back up on there? Let's plaster this entire city overnight with signage and fuck this horseshit. Just hold that right there. Everybody should just read that and really soak that up for a minute, because it is very true. We need to get some PPC support. We need to make some noise. We need to start showing how good that we can have it. We can be free again, guys. We won't need all this protesting. We won't need all of these separations of families. We won't need people. That's the biggest thing right now. And I keep hearing it time and time again is the separation of families. And that is heartbreaking to me. The other thing, too, guys, is anything that CTV News said about yesterday's rally. I'm going to say this. Woo! Manitoba, y'all showed up yesterday. Way to go. Way to stand up for this segregation, for this mandatory BS. I'm going to say this. CTV spread a bunch of lies about what was actually happening there. I was watching live. I had friends there all day, and they were saying that people were being harassed. That's not true. They were saying that the streets were blocked down. That's not true. The cops were letting traffic go by. Everybody was very peaceful. Everybody was really respectful. Sure, it might have slowed stuff down. Sure, it might have backed up traffic. Why? Because there was about 1,000 plus people there. So this was the biggest, most successful one. And I have to say to all of you Winnipeggers who showed up yesterday, that is amazing. Guys, you should be all giving yourself a pat on the back for that one. That was really, really, really good. Now, I also hear that there's supposed to be a walk tomorrow from the I believe it was from the legislative building to City Hall. Now, if someone can confirm that for me at 5 o'clock, confirm that if it's a for real event that's happening, or I'm not sure what's happening with that. But if somebody can give me some confirmation on that one, I would love to see that. I want to just say hi to everybody who's joining us tonight. Again, not Todd, not the Prairie Truth, but we have the Filthy Truth on here for you guys. And so we're really excited to be on here. I got a couple of text messages today from people who work in the medical field. That fly is driving me crazy. Who work in the medical field, who aren't vaccinated, who are being threatened with their jobs, and who are confirming what is actually happening in the healthcare system. So a lot of the actually, I'm just going to read this one text. I'm not going to read from who it's from because I want to make sure I'm protecting this person. But I do want to read because a lot of it has it goes with what's being said here. So my colleagues do not know my views, because if she shared her views, she'd probably be ostracized or whatever. So she'd be pushed away, basically. I hear every day that we should start closing our doors to those who are not jabbed. Yesterday, after the protest, I overheard this. Well, COVID cases will now go through the roof because of this protest. Second person that she was talking to said, yeah, we shouldn't let them into the hospital. This is not the nursing I signed for. That's what the girl said. That is not the nursing I signed up for, because of the separation, because of the fact that they don't even want to save your life if you're not jabbed up. Now, the other story I heard before this leads me to my guest tonight is I had a gentleman friend of mine, and his brother, I believe it was his brother, went to the hospital for appendicitis. But because he wouldn't let them stick that swab up their nose, and because he wasn't vaxxed, they made him wait something like 48 hours before he was seen and before he was actually treated. So can you imagine sitting there with appendicitis and you're in that much pain and they wouldn't even acknowledge that you were there for 48 hours? That is, and I mean, I don't like to use the words, I don't like to use harsh words, but this one isn't, well, I don't know. But this is what we call, like, this is medical freaking blackmail. This is like, if you don't do this, then we're just going to make you wait. So to you nurses and doctors who are sitting there, what high horse did you come in off of that it's okay for you to now separate and have a opinion on this matter? Because the last time I checked, if anybody came in with a drug overdose, you were not allowed to refuse service to them because it was their choice to get high as fuck and then to possibly almost die from this. I'm not going to say which hospital, but we know it was a big one here in Winnipeg. Okay. The second one, The second thing is anybody who drinks and gets so dang drunk that they have to come in and get their stomach pumps, should you refuse service to that person who made the choice to drink like a fish? The third thing is, should you refuse service to anybody who has a heart attack because they are overweight and not healthy? Okay, there's a line here, and if you guys saw my rant, and a lot of y'all did, if you guys saw my rant last week, this is exactly what I was talking about. We are in a position here where the medical professionals are sitting here going, we're not going to treat you, or if we do and we have to do CPR on you, we're going to make sure we crack a few ribs so that you're going to go get the shot, or you're going to think twice about that. Like, make it make sense here, guys. These doctors, these nurses, they took an oath for you. And now they're saying it's not okay for you to have a choice. It doesn't make any sense to me. So my guest tonight, she's like, I got to give her props, man. She's very brave to tell this story, to share her story. I'm going to let her kind of tell what's happening, but then you guys can make the call for yourselves if this is some kind of medical ransom or some kind of medical holdback or whatever it is. So can you please welcome Brittany to the show? We're just going to do like a clapping and a...
Hi, Lynn. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? Alex, I think we're going to get one of those fake applaud things there when we welcome guests on the show. Okay, so Brittany, thank you so much for joining the show. I know that this was kind of last minute, and I know that you've been going through some kind of hell over there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the story, and we'll just kind of carry the conversation from there.
Honestly, Lynn, I think hell would be a better place for me to be right now than what I'm dealing with. So anyways, Saturday, about 1:30 in the afternoon, my boyfriend, Tyler, got into a dirt bike accident on our farm. He hit a rock, hit a second rock, flipped head over heels over top of the handlebars. He was not wearing a helmet, unfortunately, or fortunately, we're not sure. So he called me. I'm surprised he had service. The angels must have been looking out for him, but he called me. I answered the phone and he was gasping for air. He couldn't breathe. Terrifying. I had no idea what happened. I didn't even know I didn't think he was on his dirt bike. I had no idea. I thought he got mauled by a bear, honestly. But so we drove out there to go get him. He was standing up. He was moving, which was awesome. But we're like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So we took him to Arborg Hospital. He walked into the emergency room. And then they stopped everybody at the door. Only Tyler was allowed in. Asked him a few questions. The last question they asked him was he vaccinated? He said no. And that was the end of the vaccination status there. They ended up transferring him to Selkirk because the doctor said, you know what, I think it's dislocated in his neck. He was telling me it was numb. So he went to Selkirk. Selkirk did a CT scan and said, no, you need to go to Winnipeg. So he got to Winnipeg around 11 p.m., 11:30 somewhere. I don't even know. It was such a blur. And he hadn't eaten since midnight or lunchtime. Sorry, not midnight. So he got to the hospital in Winnipeg. Nice big hospital, that we all love. So he got there and trying to get information was awful. The first thing they asked him was for a PCR test, to which he politely declined and said, if you're going to want a PCR test, send me home. Yeah. The nurse rolled her eyes and walked away. That was I don't believe they had asked him a few more times that night for the PCR test. It was such a whirlwind. Anyways, what ended up happening was he fractured his C4 vertebrae in his neck.
Wow.
The doctors told him he was lucky to be alive, never mind able to move all of his limbs. So we are very, very thankful for that. So apparently they don't do MRIs during the night or anything like that. And he needed an MRI Sunday. He was supposed to go for one. He didn't end up going till Monday after, I think it was around 7, 8 o'clock at night. Keep in mind, he hadn't eaten since Saturday at lunch. And because you have to fast for an MRI, he also hadn't eaten. He went 44 hours without food or water. He was stuck in a merge for these entire 44 hours. He didn't get moved to a ward until Tuesday, which was a big problem because nobody could visit an emerge anyways. So that really sucked. None of us could go see him. We're still not allowed to go see him because he is unvaccinated. I'm unvaccinated. Despite the fact that I've had numerous conversations with nurses and staff there, and I've said, I know for a fact the majority of you, or there's a bunch of you that aren't vaccinated. Why can you take care of him and I can't come see him? So Monday, he had a conversation with the doctor, not his surgeon, but one of maybe the residents. I can't quite remember who it was, but it was a doctor. And he said, we want to do the surgery today. We're hoping to get you in today, but without a PCR test, you might be delayed a week.
A week?
A week. Well, at first he said a day. Tyler said a couple of days, and he's like, could be a week.
Because he refuses a stinking test up the nose.
Because he refuses the PCR test, yeah.
Okay.
And I was just flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what do you mean? Like, and so the doctor said, well, it adds all on these extra precautions. It adds extra time to the OR, and which I understand. Yeah, there is time. So I looked up the precautions. It adds a 45-minute delay. So a 15-minute delay at the beginning of surgery, a 15-minute delay before he gets moved to the PACU, and then a 15-minute delay after that. They have to wear, certain people have to wear N95 masks. And as a healthcare aide, I can tell you, I've been fit tested for an N95 and they don't take hours to put on.
No.
The surgical team gets to wear regular PPE, like a regular surgical mask. So there's nothing extra to that. His surgeon did say that the only thing that would delay his surgery was a trauma coming in. And that was from his surgeon. But from what the first doctor said about the PCR test, if you're delaying the test, then it might delay your surgery. I don't believe that the only thing stopping his surgery is a PCR test or is a trauma. Yeah. He was scheduled for surgery yesterday at 11:30. He got bumped. And when I called them at like 3 o'clock, they said maybe Friday.
So how is this? So just before you continue on, how has this been on Tyler and how has this been on you, knowing that this is the reason why is because he's refusing that test? And I gotta say, I know I see Tyler's watching here. Dude, like, good on you. Like, fucking rights, man. Way to go.
I'm super proud of him. He is very strong. Mentally, we're both really struggling. It's been really hard. We haven't been able to see each other, just FaceTime or whatever. But it's getting harder every single day. I have put in complaints to patient relations and they say, oh, I can take it to his care team and that's it. That's all they can do is take it to his care team. And you know what? I told him, and I've told him numerous times that I said, I'm not done fighting for you and I will get you your surgery. And I don't care who I have to take this to, I will get it out and I will make sure, because at the end of the day, you know, I know what that doctor said and they think that we don't have proof that he said it, but I know I have it. So
good.
I will make sure that he gets his surgery and he gets treated fairly. He's had some, I have to do a shout out here though, because he's had some amazing nurses and aides take care of him. I've been on the phone with him while they've come in and they have been phenomenal. I feel for them because they are so overworked. They are so understaffed. It is not even funny. Yesterday, I was on the phone with Tyler. I was also having some family drama because of all of this going on. So yesterday was not a good day, but I was on the phone with him and he was vomiting and he had spent 35 minutes sitting in his own vomit before somebody could come clean him up. Which is just unacceptable.
And then now they say, okay, so if the nurses actually stood their ground here, and let's just say the nurses just said, you know what, we're not going to do it. Go ahead and let us go. How quick would the hospitals crumble if even 20% of the nurses walked out?
Like instantaneously. Healthcare is so short-staffed. I know in one of the facilities that I was working in, we had 8 open healthcare aide positions, which is insane. It's insane. There's no staff because people are leaving the healthcare field because of all of the cuts that Palliser has made.
Yep. Jesus, I can't even like. how how do they even justify, like, and you're gonna get good nurses because there's good nurses, there's good doctors, there's
Absolutely.
in all of these upper places. So for the record, like, I'm gonna put this on Wham and I'm gonna put it on the Filthy Truth. For the record, there are some amazing people that are still doing their damnedest to make this work for everybody with
Absolutely.
the short staff. So like, Tyler, maybe you could just write in here, like, how are you doing? Like, how are you been? How have you been holding up? And then we'll just post it underneath here. But Brittany, like, so what are the next steps here? Like, what do you guys do?
I honestly, I don't know. I know he's got a nurse getting me the contact information for the manager on their ward, which I will be calling and trying to contact tomorrow. I've tried client relations at WRHA and no one has returned my calls. Patient relations at the hospital he is in has returned my calls, and it's basically our hands are tied. I've emailed a couple MPs in the area, just that I know that support the same views as us. Not our MP because he doesn't field calls or emails, unfortunately. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to continue to get the word out there and tell them that this is discrimination. This is awful. You know, you're going to tell me that it's not the PCR test, but when I have it on record that it is.
Like, is there a way? I wonder, like, why would they need the swab? Why can't they just do a spit test? Has that ever been brought up?
No, not that I'm aware of, but Tyler might be able to comment to that.
Hmm.
They haven't said anything about it, but I know today while I was at work, one of my clients, she had gone in for surgery a few weeks ago. Not nearly an extensive surgery like Tyler's. However, she told me that she got in early because the person ahead of her refused the PCR test.
So they're really going to be blaming this on the people who don't want to get that damn test up their nose, and or they're going to blame us for not
They're
having.
punishing people for not wanting to prove that they're healthy.
Jesus. So, through all of this, have you guys thought of anything that you're going to be able to, like? Would you guys be at all looking to be filing like medical mistreatment or anything like that? Like, is that a avenue that you guys are going to take?
We're definitely looking at some options here. I'm just checking to
That's
see what Tyler's saying there. Um, we're definitely looking at all the options, writing letters, writing emails, calling people, and you know, I've considered showing up at the hospital and demanding to speak to somebody,
yeah.
just to be like, this is insane. You know, I went to drop him off a bag of stuff, and I was right there, but nope, you can't come in. You can't come in. And I've said numerous times that I know your staff isn't fully vaccinated. And the nurse says, you know, like, I feel for you, but our hands are tied. And they want to help. They want to do more, but you know, there's fear of repercussions. You know, I'm getting a lot of flack from my family about this too, because they act like he deserved it. So it's
They
getting a little
actually deserved it. He
yeah,
deserved to be blacklisted and to be put in a spot where do this or fuck you.
yeah, they've said if you're gonna act like you're above the doctors and blah blah blah. And I said he's not acting like he's above them. We know we need them. We trust doctors, but the PCR test has been proven in Manitoba courts to not be accurate.
Mhm.
So like, no, we're not taking the PCR test.
For causing agents on the fucking head of the swab. So I don't blame him for not wanting to get that. I wouldn't let them do it either. Um, that's crazy. So yeah, so lawyers has anybody approached you about a lawyer or anything like that?
Um, no, I haven't had anybody approach me. I've had a good friend of ours, and she's getting emails written up, and she's getting me emails and contacts for media outlets because I'm done. I'm done waiting, and this is a serious surgery, and he can't get out of bed. He's
No.
not allowed to get up and walk. Yes, he can move his limbs, which is great, but he's not allowed to get up and walk. He does have an unstable fracture, not a stable one.
Yeah.
He can't sit above 30 degrees. So he's been stuck laying in the same position for almost a week.
And if you guys know anything about that, bed sores start to happen, cramping of the legs start to happen. Eventually, you get muscle atrophy that starts to happen. It's
Well, he
bad.
had to have his IV replaced today. I know that and it took them 8 tries because his veins are starting to collapse.
So, what's it going to take for them to get this? So, you're saying he's scheduled for tomorrow. So, what?
Well, he's not scheduled for tomorrow. He's on
Oh, they're
standby.
on standby for tomorrow. He was just saying there earlier too that he was bumped for the third time yesterday.
Yeah.
What kind of hell can we help raise for you here so that they start to hear you a little bit more? Do we need to all start calling the special help?
Patient relations. Call the patient relations line. Call everybody you can. Call the ward. Start pestering them. Tell them you want his surgery. Well, don't call the ward. Actually, I lied. But patient relations for sure. I can definitely forward you that number, Lynn. That I mean, they don't field calls really. You have to leave a voicemail and then they call you back and they hear your concerns, and it's a waste of taxpayers' dollars, to be honest. But I'm not sure what else we can do besides just get the word out there and start saying no more.
Well,
Like no more discrimination.
yeah, this lady here said we'll all stand in front of the hospital again and start blocking some doors if we have to, for him to start getting heard.
Well, yeah, I definitely don't recommend blocking doors. I don't want to upset the healthcare workers. I'm not here to make the nurses and aides' jobs 10 times harder, but we definitely need to make some noise somehow.
Yeah.
I'm all for making noise. I would love to make some noise. Like if he doesn't get surgery tomorrow, he's going to have to wait till Monday.
That's like so, and then at that point, that'll be a full week.
Yeah, like
And
because Saturday will be a full week of a broken neck.
that's insane. That's insanity.
It is insanity.
I don't even know. Like, so here's the thing. So then let's just have this discussion. So if he would have gotten the swab up the nose and would have been double jabbed, how quick do you think he would have had his surgery?
Monday.
Last week or last Monday.
Yep, this past Monday. He would have had it Monday, 2 days after his accident.
So
because he even said, we want to do your surgery today, but without a PCR test, we just don't have the time. You don't have 45 extra minutes. You can't bump somebody 45 minutes. You do it all the time.
Do it all the time. And it's an emergency. He came in with a fractured C4. My ex-husband actually had a fractured C2. Luckily, he didn't need surgery because it had just split apart. But he was the same. He was a hair width, and that's like if you look at a piece of hair, he was a hair width from being paralyzed or dead as well. So I understand the severity of this injury. It hits really close to home. Medical malpractice. This is medical malpractice all over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying to contact some people. I'm in the next day or so, probably tomorrow. Maybe I'll just call in sick to work since I'm at risk of losing my job for being unvaccinated as well.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that in a second too. If anybody here knows a lawyer or knows anybody that can help out in this case so that we can get Tyler in surgery ASAP, please, please, please text me right away so that we can get Brittany some help and some support so that we can get Tyler in surgery. This isn't a joke. A C4 fracture, and if it's an unstable fracture, can leave him paralyzed in not even a split second.
It is. And the doctor said you're lucky. You're so very lucky. And everybody I've talked to, they do work in a medical field as well, and they've all said, Brittany, you have no idea how lucky he is right now. And I was like, I can only imagine. God was holding him strong.
Yeah, he was. It wasn't anything for his time for anything, but maybe Tyler is here for and this story is to start showing what's actually happening inside the doors here, because inside the doors, you ain't going to see this on the mainstream medias. And even if you reached out to CTV, they probably wouldn't even give you the real honest story here anyways. They probably tell you that they had COVID and that they had to wait. So, but if we do have some lawyers, we have connections here. So somebody needs to get a hold of me ASAP. We're going to set Brittany up with the whole freaking army here so that we can get Tyler his fucking surgery tomorrow and not wait till Monday. And if he does wait till Monday, then we need to get some nice medical malpractice suit going on here, because this is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, so let's talk about that with your job here. So moving forward, the good news just keeps on rolling for you. What happens with the job?
We got an email today finally saying that you got to be vaccinated, have your first one by September 7th, or submit to mandatory PCR test. And like they didn't include in the email anything about whether or not that would be out of our dime, which, I mean, I'm not getting a PCR test anyways. So yeah, and then they gave us some options where you could disclose it or prefer not to disclose or something, or reach out to your manager so that we can discuss your concerns. You know, they're not very sympathetic. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they are sympathetic that of everything that's happened. They did give me a few days off of work, and I'm very grateful for that. But to hit me with like, now Tyler can't work, now I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely stressful trying to figure out how we're going to afford to live.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what I'm going to do with my job. I'm prepared to lose it for sure. Because I'm not going to give in to what they want, because I have rights, we all have rights, and I don't believe in medical tyranny.
Yeah, so that's like, so for everyone who's watching this, if you guys haven't seen or you haven't been affected by the medical segregation, and then now the segregation of the passport to the not passport, this is real life. This is what's really going to happen. Like October 31st, guys, life for a lot of people is about to change, and it's about to get real heavy, real dark, real quick.
It's going to be before October 31st, because anybody that doesn't have their first one by September 7th is already not going to be vaccinated fully by October 31st. So that's Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
Jesus. Well, Brittany, I like, yeah, just the little bit I've gotten to know you over the last couple weeks, you know, my heart definitely goes out to you. You know, for those of you guys who don't know, Brittany and I started training together and started whipping her ass into shape a little bit in the gym, and
I couldn't walk for 2 days.
walk for 2 days, but you know, we were able to have a really cool discussion in that whole hour, and I can tell you guys that this is a for real struggle for people, because when you're placed in this spot here, this is what they want to do. They want to make your life so fucking miserable so that you just cave in and get it. So Brittany and
Absolutely.
Tyler, you guys are like, you guys are the stories, man. You guys are the reason why we need this to stop, and you guys are the reason why they think that they're going to be able to get us. But look, Tyler's in the hospital, and he's willing to stand for this and willing to just sit there for a week and a half with no water, no moving, or whatever it was, sitting in his own vomit for 35 minutes because he refused it and he just said no. Tyler, to me, your balls are made out of steel, buddy, and I'm really proud of you, man, because holy shit, like, I got to meet him once there, and he's a phenomenal guy, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm really proud to say, like, you know, I love that you're a part of our freedom family, because that's what it does, man. And Brittany goes like, we'll do everything we can here to help you guys out. We want to make sure that you guys are moving the needle forward. You know, anybody in this freedom family, I've experienced firsthand, man. They're not going to let you hurt, and they're not going to let you lose your shit. This family that we've been able to create, there's just so many people who step up, and I know firsthand. I mean, Bonnie and Steve and was Jesse, they all stepped up for me, and I know that many people are going to step up for you. So again, we want a lawyer. We want somebody to push this law action suit now. We want a lawyer calling this hospital tomorrow, and we want Tyler's surgery tomorrow. So anybody here, we can call the big hospital. We all know where it is. It's downtown, and we want
downtown.
Yep. And you guys know, you may have been there yesterday. We just, you don't know. Call and get these guys, get him into surgery. Make their life so fucking uncomfortable that they want him out of the hospital, because we're going to be such assholes to them. Like,
they should already want him out.
Yeah.
He's unvaccinated.
Yeah, he's unvaccinated. They don't want him. But don't be an asshole. Don't just make some noise, guys. Just call and
kindness.
Yeah.
kindness. Tell them this is unfair, this is unjust, and he needs to be in surgery now. He needs to be home with his family, with me, with his kids, with his parents, with all of us. I it's been really hard. The first night I got an hour and a half of sleep because I couldn't sleep in the bed knowing that he wasn't there. I just, it's been a struggle. I have been sleeping now, thankfully. And even the nurse told me, she's like, make sure you get some sleep, make sure you eat. And I was like, right.
Oh yeah, that food.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to even fathom when your partner's in that much distress to be able to just kind of go on about your life and not have your brain focused on them. I know it'd be really, really difficult for me here too. Uh,
I'm a certified healthcare aide. I'm
yeah.
a certified healthcare aide, and I said, let me in. I will take care of him while you're not vaccinated. And it was like, so I can work in other hospitals and long-term care facilities right now without being vaccinated.
Ugh, I'd like have so many things to say, but it would not be nice things to say. Um, we got guys, we need to make this happen. Okay, we need to make this happen.
We
Let's
need some noise.
let's make some noise. Let's call that hospital that's downtown.
Kind noise.
Kind noise. Make sure you guys are using your voices. Make sure you guys are using, if you guys know a lawyer, you got to get them. If they're willing to do like a pro bono thing just to get his surgery here, let's do it. Tyler just literally said here that he's been laying here with the beeping. His IV machine is beeping loud for 20 minutes. No one's come to check on him. This is the problem, and they want to let the nurses go.
They want to fire people for not being vaccinated. They're willing to cut our healthcare system short because you know what? They cut the healthcare system short and they can't keep up with anything. Then they have more control. They have all the power. We're just giving them the power. Manitobans are just giving them all this power that they don't deserve.
Yeah. And look what's happening here, guys. Tyler is literally the guy that's sitting in the hospital and he's not even caving. And all y'all around him are walking around and you guys are able to do whatever the hell you guys want. And you're still contemplating on getting it for what? For a job that's forcing you and taking away your rights and your freedom of choice? This isn't okay. This isn't okay. What hospital? It's HSC. Let's just pull it out for what it is. It's HSC, guys.
It's HSC.
Yeah.
And I again, like I have to say, he's got some amazing nurses and amazing healthcare aides. So please do not berate his care team because you know what? They're doing the best they can. And being a person that's worked in healthcare and working short-staffed all the time, we try to do our best. We go home at the end of the day not feeling good enough. Granted, I haven't been working as an HCA since January. I've only picked up a couple of shifts, but I've gone home going, I didn't do enough for you today.
Yeah. And I mean, these nurses, and that's exactly like I used to work with a bunch of healthcare aides as well, and they were always short staffed, and their job is tireless, it's thankless, and now it's going to be even worse for them when these people lose their jobs.
Absolutely. I apologize to them every time I talk to them. I'm like, I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to field these calls. I'm frustrated. I've broken down crying on the phone with the nurses because he's being bumped again and he's being treated so unfairly. He had one, I don't know if she was a nurse or a healthcare aide, I don't know what she was, in the room while we were on the phone just a little while ago, and he said, well, being treated like a second-class citizen, and she kind of like chuckled and was like, well, things have to happen in order for you to get surgery, and like basically acting like it was okay that he was being delayed surgery for not having his vaccine or the COVID swab.
Well, I guess we now know what it was like in the 1930s and when slavery was a thing.
Right? Yeah, it's just I'm so frustrated. I'm so angry. I'm not only angry at this, I got family drama telling me I shouldn't be having pity parties for him. And I was like, he's in the hospital with a broken neck.
So tell us a little bit about the family stuff. What's going on with that? Like what's the messages being told there?
Well, I've had some say that, he's a big boy. He can advocate for himself. I'm trying to leave out some names here if I can, because I don't want to. And I know when my dad was in HSC waiting a week for surgery, and this was 9 years ago, sorry, I called every single day to get him his surgery. I was calling every single day. So okay, whatever. It was my mom. She said, he's a big boy. He can advocate for himself. And I said, you know what? When dad was in the hospital, I was calling every single day for you because that's what you wanted. You were so stressed out. You're so worried for him. And all I want is some kindness and some compassion. I'm not looking for sympathy from my family. I don't want sympathy from them. I just want them to be kind and understanding of how we are feeling. Most recently, my children overheard my sister-in-law talking to my aunt, and she said it would have been better off if Tyler had died.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I was floored. I was floored. I told her, I said, if I ever hear that again, you guys will never see my children ever again. This isn't the first time she said something like that though, but it's so frustrating. I'm getting berated by my sister-in-law because she's like, oh, well, if it was unstable, he would have been in emergency surgery. And I was like, but he's not. So he should have been, and it is unstable. It's awful. It's, Tyler's family has been great. They've been a great support system for me. My dad, also phenomenal. He has been a good support. He might have his own issues, but he understands. He's like, no, I get it, Brittany. It's not fair. It's not right. I agree with you. And, that's all I needed from them, that support and that love, and a prayer. I asked my mom, I just told my mom the other day, yesterday, that I need to vent. And, it turned into this big, ugly brawl. And I was like, this is not what I need. This is not what we need. I'm bawling. I'm crying on the phone. And poor Tyler's in the hospital calling me and trying to console me. And he's the one with a broken neck. And I'm hyperventilating. I can't breathe. I can't talk, and he's sitting there. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. And I'm like, this isn't fair.
See, I think this is a really good example of this is a really good example of leaning in on the people that is your tribe for these moments. And
absolutely,
like these are times where empathy is more needed than I think anything else, because again, and this goes for people who are vaccinated and get the vaccine injury. So they get this vaccine, and then a lot of people are like, "Well, good for you. You went and got the shot." Well, really though, like nobody wishes anybody ill. Nobody sits there
unless you're my sister-in-law.
Yeah, wishes that you die. That's like an aggressive thing. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself why these people are so angry and why they're so willing to say these words. Like it's no matter what,
it's awful.
yeah, nobody should wish death on anyone, because that's not even that's your own bullshit that you're dealing with, and whatever else. It's
Tyler
awful.
and I don't care who's vaccinated. We don't care if you get vaccinated or not. That is your personal choice. You have a right to make that choice. I am fully vaccinated with every other vaccine. I even have my tetanus up to date because I chose to have it up to date. Yeah. This one, I want to see long-term studies. I have more questions. I have more concerns. And, how do you provide informed consent? You can't.
Yep.
You can't. I even said I'm not against a COVID vaccine if it was proven to be safe and effective, but this one is not. It's been proven time and time again that it's just failing, because if masks, if vaccines, if social distancing, if lockdowns worked, why are we still in a pandemic?
Yeah, we've been gone a long time ago. Would have been gone a long time ago.
Absolutely. 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah, we're still on that 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks in holding. Somebody said here that the vaccine injured are also being pushed aside, and that's for real. I was actually having a conversation with someone who's going to be coming on the show in the next little bit. She also has the injury from Pfizer, I believe, and like a bad, like she can't walk anymore. She's in a wheelchair. She's just learning how to re-walk. Injuries. Wow. And for, I think they said about a week and a half to 2 weeks, they just kept ignoring her and pushing her to the side. And finally, they were annoyed enough that they let her into the hospital and found out that it was actually really, really severe, her injuries. So it's not just the ones who are like Tyler refusing this shit. It's the people who are getting it that are also getting kicked to the side here.
Manitobans don't come first. Canadians don't come first. The people do not come first. And I'm being berated all the time. Go get your vaccine. Go get your vaccine. I said, you made a choice to get yours, and that's cool. But respect my decision to not have it.
Yep. So, Britt, what I'll do is I'll let you go there. But before you go, is there anything that you'd like to say that anybody should need to know, or any last words, so that we can pass this on to anybody?
I just prayers. Keep God close because without God, Tyler would not be alive and with us today. I know that for a fact. And I truly believe that he is enduring all of this so that he can bring awareness and light to all the horrific things that are going on. I just want to do a shout out to every single last one of my friends, even the freedom fighters that I've barely known that are constantly messaging me every single day. Jay, you're one of them. You've been messaging me every day, like 12 times a day. We're so grateful for all the support and all the love that we have been getting. And you know what? We'll keep taking it. And if anybody is able to help us, we will take that help.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll stay in contact if anybody knows that lawyer, or anybody that can push this forward where we can get him in. If you work at HSC and you're watching this and you're absolutely appalled at what's going on, maybe you guys can help out and step up and get him into surgery so that he can get it done tomorrow, and that he can start the recovery process and just get home where he can just heal, and he'll get out of your hair. He'll leave you alone after a while, and you're not going to have to deal with a bunch of freedom fighters calling you every single day.
Perfect.
There's lots of us. Brittany, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
Stay strong. We'll get together next week. We're going to work some of this stress off, and
absolutely.
yeah, we'll move the needle forward then. Tyler, thank you so much for being so brave and so sticking to your morals and sticking to what you believe is right, because you know what, not only did the C4 didn't take you, but you're not letting the hospital crush you either. So just keep strong, Tyler. Brittany, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So that is the breaking news show. What do you guys think? I'm just going to ask everybody here. Do you think that is a little bit of medical blackmail, or is it just is the hospital, what the hospital is doing is just give me a yes or no in the comment section here. Let me know what your thoughts are. Is there a two-tier system in our health care now? I want to see it. A bunch of yeses or a bunch of nos. Let me know what's happening there. I really like that one. That's fucked as bullshit. Yeah. Guys, this is for real what's happening behind the doors. This is for real what's happening where mainstream media isn't going to show you. And this is why Winnipeg Alternative Media is so strong in its belief to show you the stories that CTV, CBC, Global, all those guys will not show you. They are going to tell you the half truths, and they're going to blame the victim on this one. It is 100%. It's appalling. It's appalling. Okay, Mr. Shadow Davis, we moved over our shows for 7 p.m. So starting next week, guys, all our shows are going to be at 7 p.m. I have a special guest coming on Sunday. I believe it's going to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just confirming the time. Once I know the time, I will make sure that it is announced. She is the lady that paints the COVID victims' portraits. So if you guys are on Instagram, go to COVID victims portraits, and she paints, like, she literally, and at no charge, paints these pictures of these victims of this damn shot. She tells them she'll tell you a little bit about the story, and she's coming on the show. She just moved from India to Mexico, so I'm really, really excited to have her on the show to hear all the stories of all these victims of this fucking shot, of this damn poison that they're trying to put in you. And guys like Tyler who are in the hospital, this is why they're making it so miserable, because they want you to get it. And you know what? The more of us that don't break, the more of us that will break them. We will break them. We need to stay strong. We will break the government. I'm telling you, if we stay together, we unite, and we just say no, guess what? We will break them. Also on Monday, we will have What's Up USA. That's right. My buddy Blake is coming back on the show. That is also at 7 p.m. And then, of course, we return with the Filthy Truth on Tuesday at 8 p.m. So you're going to have a whole lot of Nelson in 3 days. I hope that's okay. I really, really want to thank my amazing producer, Alex. Thank you so much I just made him make that intro up today. I was like, listen, we need a new intro just for this show. So I want to thank Alex for everything that he does for me and the show behind the scenes. He's a vital part of this show. I want to thank Todd and the Winnipeg Alternative Media Platform for having me on the show and for allowing me to take tonight to talk about this medical system, if we're being treated fairly or not. And it looks like you guys all were just agreeing with me that it's definitely a two-tier health system now, and it is definitely medical blackmail that they are doing for you. So yes, Ken, you're going to get the full Nelson next week, starting Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I will be all up in your face. I am hoping Tuesday I can get that VAXX'd victim on so that we can talk about her story. And after that, you guys will have a break from me for about a week with the return of, I think the return of the Right Side Vegan comes out on Wednesday, Prairie Truth on Thursday. And holy crap, guys, we have got some new things happening for you guys next week as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, lawyers, if you know anybody, please get them in contact with me so I can get them to Brittany. Let's get Tyler's surgery tomorrow. Start flooding Health Science Center with phone calls. Please be polite. Please be kind. We are going to get more with honey than we will with vinegar. Let's just get him his surgery. That's all we want. We just want him to have his surgery. Please go to www.resistancecoffee.com because you're going to need some coffee to fuel all those phone calls. Okay, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Tyler, stay strong, my friend. I cannot wait to see you, and we will run to each other and we will give each other a huge hug one day soon, my friend. Thank you again, everybody else. Stay strong. And let's just support these guys. If anybody can help Brittany in any way, again, please reach out to her or you can get a hold of us and we will make sure to send her out some details. We need a lawyer. We need somebody to push this tomorrow. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Alex, kick us on out. Bye, everyone.